You know what's happening. This absence you feel isn't a loss, it's a liberation you haven't accepted yet. If this relationship were healthy, you wouldn't be here questioning it. If your presence were valued, you wouldn't have to deal with the silence. What you see as a lack is actually the space that opens up for the new. Observe the facts. This person disappears, doesn't respond, doesn't commit. And you wait, justify, adapt. There is no mystery in this. There is a pattern that only brings wear and tear. You call this distance because end requires action. The bond is sustained because you stick around, not because it's strong. You don't cut it off. Those who desire come close. Those who care invest. What you call love isn't reciprocity, it's wear. When someone wants, they act. When someone respects, they are present. The rest is noise. If you have to struggle to be noticed, there's already a flaw. If you have to compete with silence, you've already been placed second. If you beg for attention, that's not love, it's survival. Now you're not trapped, you're stagnant. And immobility is also a choice. The truth is clear. Nothing changes because changing isn't convenient for those who receive everything without offering anything. This absence is a disguised opportunity. You don't need more time, more conversations, or empty promises. You need to decide if you'll keep accepting the cost of indifference. This liberation isn't comfortable. It's a breaking point you fear but need to face. For your peace, what no longer serves should be left behind. And this point doesn't arrive alone. You must make the decision to move forward. Accepting this truth is part of your growth. Nothing changes without a definitive break. Reality has already been presented. You know that reality can be uncomfortable. The illusion of control that you try to maintain is nothing more than a defense mechanism. What you see as love is just a repetition of behaviors that lead nowhere. This person does not care about your expectations. That is a fact. The unfulfilled promises and moments of absence are not coincidences. They are the clear manifestation of a dynamic that you insist on normalizing. Dealing with this requires courage, and often courage is closely tied to the recognition of the pain you avoid. You have become accustomed to justifying the actions of the other person. With every silence, a new excuse. With every absence, a new hope. This is not love. It is a trap you have created around yourself, a comfort zone that does not bring happiness, but rather a constant feeling of lack. If you observe, you will see that the relationship is based on a vicious cycle. This person comes and goes as if it were a game. And you? You wait, you adapt. Time passes and you continue there as a spectator of your own life. What happens when you allow yourself to be just a spectator? You lose control over your story. It is time to confront this reality. You are not in a transitional phase, but rather in an established pattern. It is easier to call this a phase because it implies a change that could occur effortlessly. But the truth is that you are not waiting for a return. You are just perpetuating a cycle that brings no value. What you feel is not unconditional love. It is a disguised dependency. True love does not demand constant sacrifices. It does not place you in a position of insecurity. When someone truly cares, that person makes the necessary effort to be present and contribute to the relationship. If you feel like you are struggling to be seen, the relationship is already compromised. The effort to be noticed is not a sign of love, but of emotional exhaustion. You should not have to try so hard to receive the basics. The basics should be the norm, not an exception. The reality is that you have become a support for someone who is not willing to offer the same. This unequal structure is not sustainable. What you accept as normality is, in fact, a form of accommodation. This accommodation does not bring satisfaction, but rather a constant feeling of lack. What should you do now? First, you need to recognize the choice you are making by remaining in this situation. This choice may seem passive, but it is active. Staying is an act of accepting what no longer serves you. It is time to let go of the idea that the other person will change. The change must begin within you. Your peace should be the priority. There is no value in staying in a relationship that does not bring joy or reciprocity. Absence should not be interpreted as an opportunity to wait, but as a call to action. You need to move towards what truly matters. Confronting reality is the first step to freedom. This freedom does not come without pain, but it is a necessary pain. The discomfort you feel is a sign that something needs to change. What you have in your hands is a chance to rewrite your story, to choose a new path that does not depend on the presence of the other. It is a moment to look within and assess your needs. What do you really desire? What is essential for your happiness? These questions should not be answered based on external expectations, but rather on your own understanding of yourself. You do not need more promises. What you need is action. It is time to take an active stance towards your life. Stagnation is not an option. Accepting what no longer serves is an act of self-love. It is a recognition that you deserve more than indifference. You may feel lost now, but this feeling is part of the process. The breakup can be difficult, but it is a necessary part of growth. What does not serve you must be left behind. Your trajectory does not need to be defined by relationships that do not bring value. When you decide to move forward, you make room for new possibilities. The liberation you fear is not an end but a new beginning. This liberation is the opportunity to reconnect with yourself, to rediscover what truly matters. The truth has already been presented. What you do with this truth is your choice. Nothing changes without a definitive rupture. Your future depends on the decisions you make now. It's time to stop accepting what is not enough and start building the life you truly desire. The movement is yours. The decision is yours. You know that resistance to change is one of the main obstacles you face. Your hesitation to let go of what does not serve you is a choice that perpetuates dissatisfaction. What you consider as security is, in fact, an illusion that feeds your dependency. Each passing day you reinforce the cycle. This person is not going to change, and you have already realized this. What you see as hope is just a repetition of unfulfilled promises. It becomes a draining routine that you have grown accustomed to accepting. It is time to confront this dynamic and realize that the power to change is in your hands. There is no value in waiting for actions that do not come. This situation will not resolve itself. The commitment you seek does not manifest in empty words, but in concrete actions. When you realize that you are striving to sustain something that does not bring a return, it is a clear sign that the relationship is unequal. Your willingness to accept crumbs is a choice. You have gotten used to justifying behaviors that should not be accepted. Silence and absence are not synonyms for love. They are signs of disinterest. You need to understand that deserving respect is not a matter of expectation, but of demand. Every moment you remain waiting, you are giving up your own worth. You cannot depend on others' validation to affirm your importance. Your self-esteem should not be built on someone else's uncertainty. You need to reclaim the notion that you are enough on your own. When someone truly cares, their behavior speaks louder than words. Unkept promises and constant absences reveal a lack of commitment. This is not love. It's a form of manipulation that you need to identify. The pattern persists because you accept it. It's crucial to recognize that emotional exhaustion is not a sign of love. The struggle for attention only highlights the fragility of the relationship. Presence should be natural, not an achievement. When the relationship becomes a battleground for affection, the true connection is lost. Being a spectator of your own life is a trap. You allow yourself to live in a vicious cycle that does not bring happiness. Your story should not be written by others. This narrative is yours, and you must rewrite what no longer serves you. Change begins with your decision not to accept less than you deserve. The pain you feel when considering the breakup is a sign that change is necessary. This pain is part of the process of self-discovery and growth. Accepting reality as it is, without fantasies, is a crucial step. You are not just ending a relationship. You are reclaiming your own autonomy. What you should seek now is a space for yourself. This journey does not have to be solitary. It can be a rediscovery of who you truly are. What is important to you? What are your needs and desires? These questions need to be answered without the influence of external expectations. You should no longer subject yourself to situations that do not bring joy. Every moment of hesitation is a moment lost. What you feel should not be an excuse for inaction. It is time to prioritize your inner peace and make choices that reflect your true value. Recognizing that change is necessary is an act of courage. This courage is what will allow you to move forward. The break can be painful, but the pain of stagnation is even more intense. You are not just breaking a bond. You are freeing yourself from a cycle that does not bring satisfaction. Your life should not be defined by the presence of another person. Your happiness must come from within, not from external validation. You need to allow yourself to explore new possibilities and embrace the unknown. This is true freedom, the ability to move without the need for someone else's approval. When you decide to no longer accept what does not serve you, you make room for what truly matters. It is a moment of self-discovery and growth. Your path should be based on choices that reflect what you truly desire. You have the power to shape your life according to your own definitions of happiness. Do not let a lack of reciprocity define your view of love. True love is built on mutual respect and commitment. You should not settle for less than that. Every step toward your own freedom is an affirmation of your strength. What you need now is a clear vision of what you want for the future. It's time to let go of what doesn't bring value and allow the new to enter your life. The absence you feel is not a loss, but an opportunity to reconnect with yourself. The truth has already been presented, and you know that change is necessary. Your future depends on the decisions you make now. The move is yours, and the choice is yours. It's time to stop accepting what is not enough and start building the life you really want. You need to understand that time does not heal. Action heals. Remaining in anticipation only prolongs dissatisfaction. This relationship will not resolve itself. Those moments of silence are not a pause, but a confirmation of disinterest. What you call love should not be a justification for inaction. When you observe this dynamic, you realize that the repetition of negative behaviors is a pattern you accept. Have you noticed that this person does not change? What are you waiting for? A miracle? That expectation is an invitation to frustration. What you believe might happen does not align with the reality that presents itself. Life is not a series of empty promises. Words without action create an illusion of connection. Every time you allow yourself to be deceived by promises that do not materialize, you reaffirm the idea that indifference is acceptable. This normalization of dysfunctional behaviors is what sustains the situation. You should no longer allow yourself emotional wear. Every moment you remain in this relationship, you are giving up your own worth. What you consider love should not demand this constant struggle. It is a form of manipulation that you need to recognize. When the presence of the other becomes a battle, the true connection is lost. Presence should be spontaneous and natural. If you find yourself fighting for attention, it's time to understand that this is a clear sign the relationship is compromised. The struggle for affection only highlights the fragility of the bond. It is not healthy to live in a vicious cycle where you adapt to the other's absence. You need to reclaim your autonomy. Every moment of hesitation is a moment lost, and you must allow yourself to explore new possibilities. Your happiness should not be subordinated to the behavior of another person. What you accept as normalcy is actually an accommodation that does not bring satisfaction. This accommodation is a form of survival that should not be confused with love. You deserve relationships that bring joy and reciprocity. Do not settle for crumbs. It's time to reevaluate your choices. You need to recognize what you truly want. What brings true happiness? These questions should not be answered based on what the other person expects from you. Your happiness should be prioritized. When you allow yourself to be the protagonist of your own life, you realize that your story can be rewritten. What doesn't serve you should be left behind. A breakup is not an end, but an opportunity for a new beginning. It is a chance to reconnect with yourself and rediscover what really matters. What you have now is a blank canvas. How do you wish to fill this canvas? Your trajectory should not be defined by the presence of someone who does not value your being. You must make the decision to move forward. Confronting this reality is the first step to freedom. This freedom does not come without pain, but it is necessary pain. The discomfort you feel is a clear sign that something needs to change. You are not just ending a relationship, you are reclaiming your own autonomy. You should not submit to situations that do not bring joy. Every moment of hesitation is a missed opportunity. What you feel should not be an excuse for inaction. It is time to prioritize your inner peace. Change is a choice that brings the possibility of a new beginning. You must understand that what you accept as normal is not healthy. Absence should not be interpreted as an opportunity to wait, but as a call to action. When you decide to no longer accept what doesn't serve, you make room for what truly matters. What is essential for your happiness? These questions should be answered from a deep understanding of yourself. Your life should not be a collection of unmet promises. You should not settle for anything less than respect and reciprocity. With each step toward your own freedom, you affirm your strength. When you accept what no longer serves you, you acknowledge that you deserve more than indifference. This liberation is an act of self-love. You may feel lost right now, but that feeling is part of the growth process. The break can be difficult, but it is a necessary part of growth. What doesn't serve must be left behind. Your path should be based on choices that reflect what you truly desire. When you decide to move forward, you make room for new possibilities. It is a moment of self-discovery and reflection. The truth has already been presented, and you know that change is necessary. Your future depends on the decisions you make now. It's time to stop accepting what is not enough and start building the life you truly desire. The movement is yours and the choice is yours, and you have the power to shape your life according to your own definitions of happiness. Do not let the lack of reciprocity define your view of love. True love is built on mutual respect and commitment. Your story should not be written by others. This narrative is yours, and you should rewrite what no longer serves. Change begins with your decision not to accept less than you deserve. Before you go, do two things now. Take a deep breath and hold on to what touched your heart today. And if it makes sense, share this story with someone who also needs to hear it.